Okay, so continuing on with the Spider-Man drama extravaganza, because there is always so much drama surrounding this one. Apparently, apparently people have taken a cue from the desire to fight and attack, I don't know if attack, but definitely to storm Area 51, because Marvel fans are now planning to storm Sony to save Spider-Man. I mean, I understand the idea of going after Area 51. There could be aliens in them there hills, or that there Groom Lake. There could be. There's probably not, but there could be. It's kind of a Schrodinger's alien until someone gets in there and documents the whole thing. Spider-Man is fictional. He doesn't exist. This much I know. This much I believe many of us know. So storming Sony Pictures to save Spider-Man is kind of ridiculous. However, the article here says, if you thought the craziness surrounding Marvel and Sony and the deal for Spider-Man was over, you thought wrong. An event has now been started in the vein of Storm Area 51, but with Sony Pictures. The official title of the Facebook event is Storm Sony and Bring Spider-Man Home to the MCU. At the time of this, about 2,000 people have listed as interested. There might not need to be a need to storm Sony if the two can get the deal done. But after the official statement released by Sony regarding the split, it doesn't seem like it will be likely. You know, the thing with that is, and as I've said before, Sony was completely doing damage control with that. They were basically putting it back on Disney, taking Kevin Feige away from them, considering there was no talk of the proposed deal, whether it's 50% or 30% or 5%. So we don't really know yet. We just know about the damage control. But anyway, people out there were supportive of this. In fact, on Twitter, this guy here, Frick Freck Fruit Snack, says instead of storming Area 51, we should storm Sony HQ. You help keep Tom Holland in the MCU. I don't know if he meant to rhyme, but he did. So congratulations, Frick Frack. You kind of win parts of the internet today. But we also had the Essential podcast here saying, forget Area 51, time to storm Sony. This guy here saying Spider-Man is no longer supposedly to appear in the Avengers or Marvel, and I'm mad. Let's storm Sony. And he's got what appears to be Charlie Heaton from Stranger Things as his avatar. So the emojis up there at the top. Knife, 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 fire, alien, ring, splooge? I don't know. But we have this one here from L.A. Kajilig, whatever. And I love this image, by the way. Just the Spider-Verse of the three Spider-Mans, which I believe a lot of people would really love to see. If they did this, if Sony did this, if they announced this, it could potentially save them, right? It could potentially save this crap storm. That's if Tom Holland actually decides that he wants to come over and be part of the MCU. So this is the image itself. This is the Facebook invite itself. Storm Sony and bring Spider-Man home to the MCU. Saturday, October 19th. 2019 at 12 p.m. to 9 a.m. or to 9 p.m. At Sony's. They want to storm 25 Madison Avenue, New York. Don't quite know why, but their description says, we storm Sony Pictures. Oh, it's Sony Corporation. In solidarity, dress as Spider-Man costumes and bring our boy home. This is a peaceful demonstration and violence will not be tolerated. Sure. You're going to. Okay, well, at least they also want to hit up Sony Pictures in California. They want to do a two-coast front. They want to have two coasts, two theaters of war, of protest battle, so to speak, in order to bring Tom Holland back to the MCU. And I have to actually give these guys a lot of credit for coordinating dual fronts. But this isn't the first time. This isn't the first time that fans have attempted to protest a studio to see some change. Now, and I love to look for any opportunity I can to talk about the Snyder Cut, but this is true. Fans planned to protest Warner Brothers to get Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League released. This was 2 years ago. Fans organized a protest outside of Warner Brothers in Burbank in order to do it. And this is the page. It's still up right now. On January 6, 2018, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., Burbank, California, released the Snyder Cut photo op at Warner Bros. I'm not kidding. The description reads, join me and other Snyder fans as we take a photo in front of Warner Brothers with the Release the Snyder Cut sign while wearing our Zack Snyder shirts, DC shirts, costumes to peacefully show our support for the Release of the Snyder Cut of Justice League. After we take the photo, we will share it on all of our social media. So hopefully it will spread and get Zack himself so he can see it like he saw the Thank You Zack Snyder video that I made. But what I love, look, what I love is this one. They say don't bring any signs. They're gonna have the one sign only. Just bring cosplay, and absolutely no shirts, signs insulting Warner Brothers, Joss, etc. will be allowed in the photo. Like they were coming at this from very much a place of love, right? They were coming at this from a place of love. And originally, I kind of mocked it for some of the language because it felt like a photo shoot for cosplayers. But at the end of the day, they pulled it off. Not many people showed up. Not many people showed up, but they had to release the Snyder Cut banner. They stood outside of Warner Brothers in Burbank, and they took the photo and they let it be known. And you know what? They were mocked heavily for this, but they organized and they did it. And at the end of the day, here it is 2 years later, we're still talking about the Snyder Cut. Just at Comic-Con, they had they raised like $20,000 to fly a banner overhead. You've got Aquaman himself, Jason Momoa, having just said a couple days ago that he saw the Snyder Cut. Zack Snyder showed it to him, and he just said it was sick. And people are always going to be talking about it. It keeps it alive. Now, will this protest do the exact same thing? No, it won't. It really won't. It's not going to do it at all. But people are mobilizing, and they're mobilizing off of Twitter. And as we saw with that previous story with the bots on Twitter, this sort of thing could potentially turn into a pretty big deal. I would be very curious to see what's going to happen on October 19th. I don't know why October 19th. To me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But I'd be curious to see what's going to happen when this thing takes place. And of course, I'll be covering it, and I'll let you guys know what comes from Twitter and the photos and everything else. But I am curious to know your thoughts. Do you think that this kind of protest is going to help anything? Do you think by the time, because my personal take on it is this: I think that they're going to solve this thing one way or the other, like definitively by D23 by Friday or Saturday. It's gonna be the big thing over the weekend. It's gonna overshadow D23. There's gonna be definitive something happening. So there's no real need to have this protest in 2 months. But if everything goes tits up and nothing gets done, then people may do it. And the rest of us who are at all invested in this saga will probably be very curious to see what happens next.